Now it says it's connected, but I can't see myself. Can you go on and tell me? Oh, wait. Oh, I think I'm live. I was staring down. I always forget that there's a gap. Can you see me? Beth? Beth, can you tell me if you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. Hello? Hi, everybody. How are you? Yay, my microphone works. That's good to know. I wasn't sure. Well, excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning and give you an opportunity to ask your questions again and kind of give you some updates where we're at right now and what's happening with everybody. As your comments come by, I'll try to answer some of your questions that I know came up last time that I wasn't able to answer because I didn't have a microphone. So I guess first and foremost, again, thank you to you all for watching and enjoying the films and the videos. We've had a lot of fun finding old stuff and getting it up, behind the scenes stuff. We're in the process of working on more stuff with Jonathan, Bjorn, Beth, and some of the other cast. And we've released our first Meet the Cast video. Our second video went live not quite 48 hours ago. It went up first to people who are on Patreon with us. They get it exclusively for 72 hours at a certain tier. So the second one went up, and that'll be released publicly here soon. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying that. I had a lot of fun finally putting that video together of Justin's final song. I've had that video in my head for a long time, and I was so thrilled to be able to finally make it. So let's look here real quick, and I'll catch up with your comments. Because I've got people everywhere in the UK. Hi, Peter. In Germany, Noah. If that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Hello to the maker of MTO. That is me. Sorry, we skipped. I'm going to scoot down. Vancouver, Canada. Thank you. Yes, we can see you. A lot of yes, we can hear you. We can see and hear you. Thank you. Hi, Brian. It's nice to see you. Beth, good to see you. She says she can see me too. Excellent. It's 12 a.m. here. So wonderful. Thank you for waiting up to talk to me for a little bit. I read somewhere you heard someone saying we love people, not gender. Is it true? It's absolutely true. That's a question that I got for somebody that says English for life. When you fall in love with somebody, it's not because of their biological sex. It's because of the person that they are, the personality that they put forward. And in the end, that is what you love about somebody is who they are, not what they are biologically. What they are biologically is something you can be attracted to, definitely. But the person you fall in love with is why you stay. Awesome movie. I must have watched it more than 20 times already. Thank you very much. Me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's watched it that many times. I love Jonathan and Bjorn. I love them too. They're really neat guys. Wonderful actors. Hello from Copenhagen. Frank, it's nice to see your name again. Thank you. I've seen you in the comments. And Mac from Brazil. I've wondered what your first name was. I've seen comments from you, but I didn't know what your was. Will their daughter be in the mini-series? Yes. Maggie McKenzie played the little girl in the film, the original film, and she will be back. She's actually in the first video that's already been released that says Meet the Cast. So you get a little glimpse of Maggie now. She is in real life 12 and a half years old. She'll be 13 this summer, which is perfect for our purposes. Excuse me. And yeah, she's really excited to be back. The guys are excited to have her back. But she will definitely be a dominant player, as we now have two men that have raised a little girl. Brooke obviously plays a large part in that. She has been instrumental. Clearly, she was the surrogate for Michael and Justin, and she is still someone that they will rely on heavily, especially when raising a girl and dealing with all that comes with raising a young girl. So, yes, she will definitely be back. There's a new thing that they have added to our live streaming abilities. It's something called Super Chat, and I honestly don't know how it works. I understand you guys can see it on your side. I can't see it on mine. But if you want to ask a question, I guess there's a way you can kind of like make a donation to the films, to More Than Only LLC. And then your question is somehow highlighted. So I saw that Beth was online and she was going to try to do one so that I could see what it looks like. So if you hear me, Beth, throw it in there so we can see what that looks like. Because we are in the middle of multiple campaigns. Patreon is going strong. Our campaign to see if Netflix would take any interest in the film is online. All these links are in the descriptions of our movie and several other of our links. So if you haven't had a chance to look at those, take a look. Funding is going well for filming this summer. We're not quite at our mark yet, but we're getting there. I've been asked, and I thought this would be a good place that I could answer that question, is how did I fund the original film? I actually funded the original film by taking a loan against my retirement plan, which I just paid back this year. We filmed in 2016. But that's how passionate I was about the making this film. But as we go forward, that's definitely not something I can do over and over again. So we would love to continue to make more, and we're really hoping to film this summer. But funding is going to be key. So if you or someone you know wants to support LGBT films, send them to our Patreon page and have them take a look around and see what's going on. And supporting us even for as little as $5 a month is going to make a huge impact because we are a low budget film. Everybody who's working on it is very passionate about the project and is actually working well below typical wages to keep the project going. And I myself am a volunteer. I don't get paid for what I'm doing. So help us out if you can. And we'd love to keep it going because I've had a great time being with the guys again, talking to them, developing some script ideas. I would love to see it go. I actually wrote the first 3-part short film series that I was hoping to do this summer. But because of COVID, I don't think we're going to be able to, because the final of the 3 would entail me having a fairly large crowd of people together at the same time. So I decided to develop the second 3, which I am just finishing the first and have kind of conceptualized the second and third, which I've worked pretty closely with Jonathan on in terms of dealing with some of his father issues. So we're definitely working on it, but now I have 6 scripts and I'd love to do all, but with the budget that we're putting together, the hope would be for 3. And then once they are filmed and gone through post-production, we would be able to release like 1 a month for several months, and then, it's kind of when we have the money to do more. Hey, Brian, I see your name in there, and I know that somebody in India is watching as well. And I was going to try to scroll back here. The Meet the Cast video and the music video were awesome. That's from Billy. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you guys are enjoying those. I saw somebody asked me a question and I wanted to re-find it. Stick with me for a moment here. Can we have Michael's song to Justin? Not sure. That one would be a little harder to make a music video of. I don't know. That's something I'll have to think about, but that's from Billy. Thank you very much for asking. Hello to Indonesia, where it's almost midnight. Is that Rio? Thank you so much. Your movie is actually about stirring a soul, breaking walls, hope to love further. I agree with you. I set out to write a romantic comedy that was a true love story that happened to be about two men. I'm very proud of the script. I'm very proud of the film. And I'm thrilled that the different messages that are in the film are coming through. So thank you guys very much. I've been very touched by how people have communicated and reacted to the film. Billy, I'm still bugging my friend to watch it. I won't stop. Meanwhile, I get sleep deprived watching your movie. A lot of people say that they stay up really late at night watching the film. I think that's very sweet. But I don't want to turn you all into zombies, so take care of yourselves. I'm sure you've been asked many times, how did you come to choose the actors chosen for More Than Only, especially the key characters? The part of Brooke was always Beth in my mind. When I wrote the script, she was the one in my mind. So when I completed and it became obvious we were going to film, I asked her if she would consider reading the script and take on the part, and she did. As far as Jonathan and Bjorn go, I actually had a completely different set of Michael and Justin. And about 2 months before we were due to film, one of the actors had a conflict with filming, and it just wouldn't work because everything was set. By the time we found out he had a conflict, I had 14 locations, a 31-day shooting schedule, 75 extras, 42 regular cast members. There was just too much, and we couldn't work around one of my main actors missing a week of filming. So he had to go, and then the other one just had some personal things, and we had to let him go. So I almost canceled filming. And then Beth, thankfully, talked me into holding one audition. And she said, if you find them both at this audition, the film was meant to be made. So we put out a public announcement that we were looking for men to come and audition for a film. 12 men showed up, 12 great men showed up. We started around the table. Jonathan was actually in the first few that got up. He came to the audition to audition for Michael. He got up, he read Michael, and as soon as he read, Beth was actually with me at the audition, and I wrote on the paper with his name on it, that's Justin. And so I asked him if he would mind auditioning for Justin. He was a little surprised that I saw him that way, but he read, he was perfect, and he accepted the part. I do believe Bjorn read one or two men later, and as soon as he read, Beth leaned over to me and said, you just found Michael. So then I had the two of them read together, and they were fantastic together, had instant chemistry, and the rest is, as you say, history. I'm just scrolling through your questions again. Let's see. Zoe says she's also watched many times, so thank you very much. Thank you for changing the time. Yeah, I was hoping this would be a little bit easier for people, at least not quite so late at night or in the middle after midnight. I appreciate you guys sending the film out and sharing it with friends. Oh, Beth just sent me a super chat. That's how it works. Well, hello, Beth. So wow, that really is amazing how that sticks out. So Beth sent me a super chat that says, what was your favorite behind the scenes moment on set? Oh, wow. I'm going to have to think about that. Honestly, I think I would just keep it simple. It was the first day of filming, and it was the very first shot. And the reason for that is never in my lifetime did I think I would make a movie. I was surprised when I started writing one, And watching that happen was kind of one of the most awe-inspiring moments for me. And just throughout the whole film, just watching it come to life before me and watching my characters come to life. There were so many times on set where I was laughing or crying or, just enjoying every single moment of it. And it was just a tremendous experience, and I will be forever, forever thankful for it. I suggested it to Netflix. Thank you, Billy. Hey, Zoe, I've seen your comment before. That's okay. I appreciate your faithfulness to the film at being 11 years old. My name is, gotcha. Call you Mac. Marco, but they call you Mac. I see it. I inspired one young director in India to make a movie on similar emotions. Well, excellent. I'm glad. I think there needs to be more films like this for the LGBT community. I think you all have responded so positively to the message, the overall theme, but also the ending. I think I have mentioned before that when I was writing the film, I did a couple of read-throughs with people from my children's theater. I announced to them that I had written this script. I would really like to hear it out loud. And I was told that I was wrapping it in too much of a big bow by some of the folks that attended that. And they felt like there needed to be more drama, or there needed to be, something unexpected. And I said, well, that's not a romantic comedy. If you watch all of the great romantic comedies, they end in a happy way. And I said, why can't this community have that too? They deserve that just as much as everybody else. And I've met many couples, many LGBT couples, and they are quite happy. And they are living their lives and doing their things. And I think that that's what needs to be more of in film. I hope it gets on Netflix too, Zoe. Thank you. Singing now from the Philippines is Brian Cruiser. Thank you so much for joining us. You being in the medical field, please be safe. Your life means a lot to all of us. That was from Jayesh. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. Please forgive me if I'm not. Thank you. Our area is actually doing very well. They got on stay at home very, very quickly, kept the cases down. There are both medical and non-medical people in my area, though, that are very, very sick and fighting for their lives as we talk. So it's a scary time, but we're all taking it a day at a time. And, we're hoping for a safe reopen as things start to reopen here as well. So we'll see how it goes. Thomas Canty said, sorry, I'm behind on your comments. I've been impressed with your amazing story, cast and crew, and how to hear how you funded the movie makes me even more impressed with your passion. Well, thank you. I'm not somebody who takes no very lightly. And I figured where there's a will, there's a way, and I made it happen. And I was thankful, though, that, like I said, I found so many people that were passionate about my script and my story and worked, like I said, well beyond below typical fees, and did so much for the film. I got such a beautiful, incredible film. I had a phenomenal crew of 5 men where there would typically be at least 12 more who would do what they did. They worked their tails off. My director of photography, Darren Hartman, made a phenomenal looking film. His vision for my film was so beyond what I could have dreamed of. And post-production, same thing. My editor, phenomenally talented man who now lives in California and is working a lot down there, which is great. I'm so happy for him. So very, very blessed. And I just kind of kept going until I had a finished product that I could be proud of. Lee Allen asked why if there's any merchandise. I guess the simple answer to that is no. There is with YouTube a way that you can start doing stuff like that. But at this point, no. I don't know that the demand would be high enough. So at this point, no. I lost my, here we go. I'm just scrolling through your things, you guys. Hang with me. I'm sorry. Hugely interested in hearing more about the series. So the series is just going to pick up where they are today. Their daughter is almost 13 years old. So if we do any flashback type stuff, it's probably going to stick within the immediate. I have talked to both Bjorn and Jonathan about flashbacks, and both of them expressed the same concern that they don't look a lot like they did 4 years ago. And everybody always sees themselves as having changed a lot. But it will be in different modes. But Jonathan and I have talked a lot about his where he's at emotionally as far as being disowned by his family, because clearly that's not just something that's just over, because he was able to walk away and because he was able to go on with his life. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. I do plan on bringing Dennis and Gina back. I don't know for how many episodes. I don't know in what way yet. We certainly discussed it. But I wanted to initially just reintroduce Michael and Justin. Where are they now? What's their life typically like? What's a day like with them? I'm writing a new series of 3 that I kind of mentioned a minute ago. And the first of the 3 is essentially a game night at Justin and Michael's house. It includes their daughter, Brooke, and Michael's parents. Somebody just asked if Michael's parents will be making a comeback. And yes, I think Michael's parents are very involved in their lives, and I think we need to see that contrast of Michael's parents and how they accepted and loved Justin and Michael unconditionally, and have been present in their lives. So yeah, that was a fun script to write. And now I'm moving on to the next in that series, which will deal with Justin kind of having a relapse over his parents and them pushing them out of their lives. Please say hello to them. Brian, yes, I will say hello to them. We had not planned on them coming in today. I would love to get them back online with you guys. So maybe, and my guess is yes, I can talk to them and get them back online next month, maybe. In this month, I guess it's May. Bilby, says, Beth is so good, and I love how Brooke is so cool and calm. And her relationship with Michael and Justin is beautiful. Thank you. I had a great time writing her, and I thought Beth played her perfectly. I was really thrilled. Yeah, she's supposed to be that piece of Justin that he needed until he found Michael. And then I think with all those influences in his life is how he made it through a very, very difficult situation. Thank you, Beth, for encouraging the second auditions. Yes, thank you, Beth. Yeah, I'm extremely thankful that she was a voice of reason for me once, too. Many times. How old are Jonathan and Bjorn in real life? Yes, I honestly don't know their exact ages at this point. I knew when we were together. I know that Jonathan is older than Bjorn, possibly by a fairly significant amount. Bjorn is still in his 20s. I think Jonathan may be past his 30s now. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. Yes, it was meant to be that I have these two. You made more than a movie. You made a family. Oh, well, thank you. That's very sweet. Good and constructed ideas should be spread. I really want to be an actor, so I really want to encourage more LGBTQ inclusiveness. Agreed. I think the films need to continue to evolve. I have a few questions, and feel free not to answer them if they are professional secrets. That's from Steve. So go for it, Steve. I love your calming voice. Okay, you're very sweet. Thank you. I kind of have this low raspy voice thing, so I'm glad it's found to be calming for you guys. That was a good comment, Jeesh. Don't retract. Oh, okay. So Jeesh, feel free to put it back. Indian cinema has picked up LGBT subject lately due to legal issue, which just got relaxed, really. But I hope I hope they follow MTO's storyline and emotions in India. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I hope so. That would be great. And like Billy just said, I hope so too. You know, I didn't realize when I wrote the film that it would come over quite the way that it did, or send the message that it has. I'm exceedingly thankful. You know, and I would love for it to be a starting place for some, for any, that it could mean something. Oh, hey, Alex. Well, thank you. If you have a question, feel free to throw it in there. I love your I love your chat. I think everybody can see these, right? These are very funny. Okay, I'm backing up again. If you need inspiration, there's a cute LGBTQ YouTube channel of these moms who raise their kids. Oh, really? Nice. Well, I'll share a quick thing with you. I'm sure it's okay, but my daughter is a nanny, and she nannies for two moms. They are both police officers here in my state of Oregon. And they're just two amazing moms, and my youngest daughter wants to be a police officer as well. So it's been a really neat experience for her, and for just meeting these two moms. So I have to say so myself, they're pretty badass. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for that. If you know, or is it called Team Two Moms? That must be the name of the video? Billy, try to clarify that for me. That'd be great. I noticed that Jonathan, this is from Steve, has red marks on his upper left arm after jumping. Yeah, I have almost pointed that out in a couple of spot the small stuff type things. Yes, Jonathan did do that stunt. He did jump out of a window. Yes, it was a second-story window. It was the tree that we picked, that dorm room. It was a real dorm room at the school where I went to nursing school. And that's why we picked that particular dorm room. And he jumped out into that tree a handful of times to get those shots. And yeah, if you look really carefully, you can see the red marks on his arms. From doing it multiple times, and he never complained. He never said a word. He never indicated that he was getting hurt. We had a stunt coordinator on set for that. There's a stunt coordinator that I've worked with in my children's theater several times. He was on set. He was out on the safety platforms that were built, and he tested everything. He was by Jonathan's side the whole time. And then when we shot the film without the safety platforms, he was Jonathan's ballast, as you will. And Jonathan felt very safe and protected the whole time. But he did get scratched up in the tree. Hey, Kelsey from Pennsylvania. I love this movie. There are multiple quotes that made it into my journal along with Justin's proposal song. Well, thank you. I'm very touched that my words have rung with people in terms of some of the things that I wrote. Honestly, sometimes I felt like, oh, it's too cheesy. People are going to hear that and roll their eyes. So I've been deeply touched that people like Bjorn's or Michael's poem, The Stirring of a Soul, that was something that I always, I've had that poem in pieces in my head for years. And when it came to putting it in the script, I second-guessed it several times. And I even felt like, Justin's line about, I've never felt more exposed than when you look in my eyes. People are going to see that and just go, oh my God, that's so cheesy. So you just never know how people are going to respond. And I was thrilled that people have really responded to that poem, because it's something that I've believed for years, of how the eyes are so telling for a person, and you can pierce somebody's soul just by looking at them. Billy said, hey, Victor, thanks so much for the super chat and the donation. The one thing that I don't fully understand is the thing with the purple ghost orchid. Was it a real purple ghost orchid or just a purple orchid with a ghost costume? So the thought was it's an artificial flower. So I found once I knew what a ghost orchid was, I looked it up and decided and felt like I can make that because clearly I couldn't get the real thing, and so I found this purple artificial flower and cut it to look like a ghost orchid. And then I thought, though, for Justin, how would he present this to Michael? And I think because Justin is still more of a joker and a player, although he's becoming better by that point in the film, he's still Justin. And I thought it would be hilarious if he presented a ghost, to which Michael would be like, no, you misunderstood what I said. I said ghost orchid. And to which Justin then clarifies, no, you said a purple ghost orchid. So, of course, he got it. But he just, being Justin, needed to present it Justin's way. So I hope that makes sense, why I wrote it that way. Yes, thank you, Victor, for your donation. Laura, ever since I was young, I've been working as an actor, and now I'm 14. You're 14, okay. I've been getting a lot of support, and my life will be dedicated to being an actor. This movie has helped me. Well, great. I'm so glad, and I'm thrilled that you're getting a lot of support and that you're doing what you love to do. So good for you. Jean-Luc, when Justin was going to jump out of the window, he receives a phone call asking for straight A's and then asks and the other. Justin answers under control. What his father meant by and the other. His father is referring to him being gay. And he is asking without saying, because that is the way he's communicated with Justin for years, so Justin knew what he meant. He's basically saying, are you behaving the way you should be behaving? And socially, you are hiding it, and that people aren't seeing you out in public behaving in a way you should not. So I hope that clears that up. It's Team Two Moms. Thank you, Zoe. I assume he meant Justin's gay tendencies from Alex. Yes, that is correct. And Beth answered too. Sorry, I missed that. Laura, you're so lucky. I'm homeschooled. Thanks, Beth, and you're welcome. Not cheesy. Not cheesy. Well, good. I'm glad. I fell in love with him. I cringed when he said chest pain. No, my heart stops when you look at me. I found myself quoting the movie myself. I get some strange looks. The use of that line, I think some of you heard that originally that Katy Perry song was included in the movie, and it was what Justin sang at the end. And I'm really, 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 really happy that it turned out that we wound up doing another original song. Because I think it was much harder hitting in terms of emotional impact. But the original idea was that it went from this cheesy pickup line of my heart stops when you look at me to when they were in the hotel room, and it became a romantic gesture because he built this fort out of sheets. And then it ends with him sincerely saying, my heart really does stop when you look at me. So I think that the idea was that there was this whole evolution for Justin from the first time he met Michael till the day he proposed to him, where Justin really does grow up quite a bit and learns how to love. So I thought that evolved quite nicely. Let's see. Hearing you certainly. Oh, well, thank you, Mac, very much. Monologue. So many moments that are great. Yeah, there are a couple of good monologue moments in this film. I'll tell you one, Bjorn told me, well, Jonathan said too a couple of times that when we would get to the end of filming a specific scene or moment or time where one of them would be like, oh my God, I hope that went off well. This is one I've been so nervous about doing. And Bjorn was very nervous about the whole monologue where he tells his bullying background. He was very nervous about that. He was also, he told me later, very nervous about the poem, Stirring of a Soul. Yeah, I think there's a couple of good ones, so that's great. I'm glad somebody else thinks so too. Thanks for Clara. Understood the order. Yes. Kitty. Oh, did my cat walk in front of the screen? Yes, that was, hi Nemo. Oh, yes, my cat's name is Nemo. So we have a cat that is named after a fish that acts like a dog. Because he likes to roll over and have his tummy scratched. So yeah, that's one of our, we have 2 male kitties that look just like Nemo, twin brothers. But you met Nemo. Apparently I missed it when he walked in front of the screen. Sorry. I wish I could do Patreon or Super Chat, but I'm broke. I understand. No worries. We appreciate all of the support that we're getting from you guys. It means so very much. Oh, Alex, hey. First bump. Oh, fist bump. Well, thank you. You don't get what you want if you want to be an actor. Oh, gotcha. We don't always get what we want when we first set out, but it doesn't mean you give up. Keep going, keep trying. There's so many things in my life that I never would have dreamed would be happening, that are happening. And not just the film, this has become a huge surprise. I kind of figured that once I posted the film on YouTube, that it was going to be the last thing I did with it. I now wish it was the first thing that I did, if I can be honest. Because had I known it would get this kind of reaction, I would have done it much sooner. I don't know how to pronounce this. It could be just an acronym, but you said I love the miniature golf sequence. It was one of my favorites. It was a lot of fun to film. I laughed so much that day. Everybody had a great day. If you are familiar with Oregon at all, we have a small, very well-known amusement park right in the middle of the Portland metro area. Called Oaks Park, and because we filmed in August, Oaks Park is typically closed during that time frame, so I rented the entire park for the day. That doesn't mean that the whole park was open and that everything was running. It just meant that we could be in the entire park all day, and one half of the park was the miniature golf area, and the other side of the park was the amusement rides. And so we were able to film that whole sequence. We literally had 13 hours on that location, 75 extras, and a lot of work to do, but the boys did fantastic. They were hilarious. They just went through the miniature golf course and just played, interacted, and ad-libbed. Jonathan is a crazy bean, man. He was up on top of everything and all over the place, and Bjorn just followed and did stuff. And the two of them just kind of just had a great day. It was a lot of fun. Beth Dodge. Oh, there you go. What does Michael line mean? Are you playing the pot or the kettle? I need to know how to translate the meaning, not the words. There is no cheese moment. Oh, I think that simply means because I think what just happened is Justin just said to him, that sounds so gay coming from you. And that statement, are you playing the pot or the kettle, simply means it's like, are you kidding me? Because you are gay and you say things that sound or come across just the same way. And yet, you would say something like that. So, I hope that makes sense. There's something about Justin's voice that is so appealing in the movie. It's just so perfect. Trust me, I know. Like I said, when Jonathan got up and read Michael, everything I heard was Justin. Everything. I could hear him doing the voiceovers. And that's what I handed him during the audition was the voiceovers. And I asked him, I said, would you mind reading these? And as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, there's just this nice timbre in Jonathan's voice that's so easy to listen to. And then his performance was just phenomenal. In the scene where Michael stayed with Brooke's company while Justin was at the ER because of the wall incident, what happened, what fight was that about, and what brought Justin to the ER again? What's being implied is that Justin's father called him again. And that at the end of that phone call, Justin hits a wall. And when he hit his hand hard enough on the wall that he potentially broke it. So Mark took him to the ER. So after the first phone call, I didn't feel the need to continually bring the father back and hear him talking to Justin over and over again, just kind of dropping in to the story that he has this father who twice a quarter calls him up and unfortunately wreaks havoc for Justin. And he winds up acting out and putting himself in the ER intentionally, not because he's trying to hurt himself in terms of wanting to end his life or anything like that, but just that, like he said, when he was with Michael the first time they met at the ER, he just gets to know that I'm being a guy, not a gay. And the father jokes about it later, how many ER bills he's paying. Will you be filming in Bandhan again? Brian is asking me that. Yes. I actually just had that discussion with my director of photography and asked how he would feel if we went back to the beach. I kind of have some ideas in my head of what I would love to pull off there this time. And I don't want to give anything away because I'm super excited about where it's going. So yes, hopefully, if we get to film this summer, we may find ourselves back in Bandhan this summer. So I'm kind of excited about that. It was so natural. Thank you. Are you guys going to make other films? Because I really like this film. I would like to. I've actually written other scripts. I started a script about a transgender girl. And I'd love to finish it. I'd love to think about filming, more feature films. So we'll see how it goes. If we get funding kind of going and we get support, and hopefully, things could continue to evolve, and we could get people to start backing our idea of LGBT films, and maybe. Who knows? My hope is that would be great. Thank you for watching this, making the film. Thank you for watching this film. Your guys' support has meant everything to you. The lines are not cheesy. They're very well thought out. Thank you. Any info would be appreciated. Keep them coming. Can't wait. Michelle, well, you can choose to skip this question. Which scene of the movie made you emotional or made tearful eyes? Oh gosh, there were so many. Watching Jonathan do the conversations with the dad was always very hard. The time where Michael confronts the parents was very hard to watch, and emotional. Emotional in a positive way. Watching Jonathan and Bjorn do the hotel scenes. Those were very sweet and very emotional, and the boys were very committed to everything that they did, and taking that journey was phenomenal. Let me just read. Can't wait to visit Bandhan. Oh, cool. So hopefully somebody else. Does that mean you're going to Bandhan? He put the stethoscope around his neck and asked if he quoted a Lady Gaga song when he said, "Trust is earned, Justin." The way he said it was so cute. Oh, yeah. Bjorn picked up on a lot of medical things very quickly, even when we filmed the code scene. Bjorn was one of 3 people in that room that was not a medical professional. I think you've all picked up on that now, that I had a lot of people from my work come and be in that film. So I had 13 medical professionals, registered nurses, doctors, phlebotomists, respiratory therapists, transporters, an ER tech, just so many amazing people. But that day that we went to film, Jonathan got up on the gurney, and I said to Jonathan, so, hey, I'm going to teach Bjorn how to put an IV in you. And his eyes got huge. And I was like, no, not for real. But I wanted him to understand the idea, the technique, putting on a tourniquet, things like that. And then, he kind of worked with the equipment for a while, and then he did fantastic. Let me know what a quarter is. I'm in Australia, go to school, so I'm really... what a quarter is. I'm not sure what that question means. I'm not sure if you're talking about, like, a quarter is a fourth of something, or a quarter like a quarter of a dollar, like a coin. Was Brooke in love with Justin? No. Brooke loves Justin. He is her best friend in college, but she is not in love with him, no. What was the period between Justin's proposal and the wedding? It was probably close to a year. I'd have to sit down and look at my time frame again. But Justin finished school first. So I tried to kind of march out the events that would need to take place. Do you have plans for the father to accept his son in part 2? No. To put it simply, no. I don't know about the mom, though. The mom is a different story, and I think that last moment of Gina in the film kind of says it all. That she was very torn over what to do at the loss of her son. Brooke was the sweetest and most supportive character. I love her. Thank you. Would it be allowed for you to release the sheet music for the songs? I really want to play it on the piano. Oh, to be honest, I don't know that there is sheet music. I'm assuming you're talking about Justin and Michael's songs. I don't know. I don't think that there ever was sheet music. I don't recall what we sent to Jonathan and John, who played the piano for the proposal. I have to go back and look. I don't know, but I don't believe there is sheet music, unfortunately. Both of those pieces of music were composed by a local band for the film, but I don't know what there is now. I'll watch anything you make. Thank you. You're very sweet. I'm really, really hoping that these short films live up to your expectations. I've been kind of a little nervous about the idea, but also so excited. When it became a possibility that we could write these, and I reached out to everybody and they all responded enthusiastically, I actually wrote the first 2 scripts in a week and a half because that's how excited I was to be writing for them again. So in the Meet the Cast, I'm glad that the dad actor said that it was hard for him to be homophobic. I have to remind myself that the character and not the actor. Is it Bilby? I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you for saying that. Dennis and Gina are 2 of the kindest, most wonderful people. And I think you're going to learn a lot more about Dennis as more of the videos come out. But he couldn't be less like that character, could he have tried. Dennis is a really neat man that I met in an acting workshop that I took in 2015, and his look was just so Greg Johnson, but his demeanor, his personality, his loving nature is so opposite that he was, it was amazing to watch him play this character and everything that he gave to it. And yeah, for the last hospital scene where he basically disowns his son, I asked him to call my cell phone, like he said in that video, and leave a message for Jonathan to use. And it was a hard message to hear, but he did it for me, and it helped a lot that day. The medical scene, very accurate to what I see in my hospital. That's from Alex. Thank you. Yes. I had a lot of fun writing it. The crew had a lot of fun filming it. My film crew asked a lot, is that really what medical scenes look like in real life? And I said, pretty close. Yeah. I've been in a lot of codes. Codes are generally not real frantic. You hope not, because the people who were in them had better be in control. And it was just pretty cool to have all my coworkers there, because I literally was able to say to Dawn, my respiratory therapist, please go intubate Justin. And then I was able to say to one of the registered nurses, please do a 12 lead. And I was able to say to this person, please hang the Versed, and this person do this and do that. And they all just did it. And they did it in a way that a code is run. And the crew loved it. I think we did like 120 shots that day, where they filmed each person doing all their little bits and pieces. And then Michael McInerney just edited the heck out of that scene. But it took us about 12 hours to film that one scene, for that 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes of film. So it was a neat thing. 3 months of school. Oh, a quarter. I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. Sorry. Yes, a quarter. There's in America, there's typically either semesters or quarters when it comes to school, and a quarter is indeed. I think a quarter is 8 weeks of school. So, okay, I understand your question now. I'm sorry. Thank you, somebody, for clarifying. I'm supposed to be in bed, so if I stop talking, my parents kick me off the computer. All right, have a great sleep. Thank you for joining us if you take off. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left, you guys, we're all going to either go to bed or move on with our days. So really quick again, don't forget, join us on social media if you haven't already. All of the links are on our YouTube page, but we're on every social media platform that I think exists. Don't forget to suggest us to Netflix. You can do it more than once. I've personally done it a handful of times, told my family and friends about it. Check us out on Patreon. And we've also been putting out, because people have asked, on our website, there's a PayPal link. We've had some really amazing and gracious people give us donations that way. And we've put out our P.O. box. So if you wanted to send a one-time thing, and one time is better than no time. And, every dollar that we get gets us closer to setting a filming date. So thank you guys very, very much. Reading again. There's many excellent one-liners in the movie, such as your masculine demeanor doesn't come with the right accessories, which is hilarious. Did you write all of these yourself? I wrote about 98% of them, yeah. There was a few that either Jonathan or Bjorn or one of the other cast members improv'd. And there's a couple of lines in the film that from other people that are writers that had written something. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, I love this line. Would you care if I put it into a movie script? In all fairness, I don't think, the expectation would have been that it would have become as well known as it has. But if anything was included in the script, it's because somebody told me it was okay to use it. I know that there's two in particular that you guys have mentioned a lot, that somebody else gave me the idea for, but then gave me the permission to include it in my script. Somebody asked last week when Jonathan and Bjorn and Beth were on where the title of the film came from. So I wanted to answer that question really quick. Was More Than Only. I knew when I was writing the film that the title of the film was going to be 3 words or less. I don't know why that was so important to me, but I knew that it was going to be 3 words or less. And I didn't know the title of the film until I wrote the last sentence of the film, when he finally said he could have had so much more. And when it was just a play on words between the father only wanting 2 things from Justin and Justin wanting more. So Justin became more than that only. So that is where the title of the film came from. The film probably had 3 or 4 titles before I finally settled on that. And once I hit that, I knew that was the title of the film. I don't care if it doesn't live up to my expectation. Well, it's very sweet. But I hope it does. And I hope you all enjoy continuing to watch Justin and Michael's story evolve, because I have so many ideas that I would love to explore. Mercy, thank you for just tuning in. We'll be here for about 5 more minutes, so throw me a question if you got one. I'm watching this on my school Chromebook, so I can't follow you guys anywhere else. Oh, yeah, understandable. Oh, hey there. That's Nemo. I was born on Friday the 13th, lucky me. My best friend was born on Friday the 13th, so it's not a bad day. Why are the beach scenes filmed in Bandhan, which is quite far from Portland? There are many beaches, which would have been much more convenient. You are absolutely right, Steve, about the convenience, but the reason I chose Bandhan was multi-layered, including that I went to Bandhan about a year before we filmed there for something with my dad, and we stayed at this hotel where we wound up filming, and the hotel room was phenomenally huge and had this little seating area with the couch and everything, and I was like, wow, this is where I would film that scene, because I was writing the film by then, and so I could visualize the film being shot in that scene, in that room. So that was one of the big reasons. And then when I contacted the hotel to see about filming there, they were amazing with helping us out. And the hotel actually also rented beach houses that were immediately across the street from the hotel. And so we rented one of the beach houses. Now, the beach house is where the crew stayed, but it was also where we filmed the scenes in the beach house with Michael or Justin, and Justin looking out over the ocean was the actual view from that beach house. So it was pretty cool, and it helped to just kind of set the whole thing up. So the crew stayed at the beach house, and we were able to cook there and feed everybody from there. And then we had 2 or 3 rooms at the hotel the whole time where Jonathan and Bjorn stayed, where I stayed, and Beth came with us, so she stayed there, and then Maggie, their little girl, stayed. It's somebody's birthday? Happy birthday, Zoe. I missed that, I'm sorry. So happy birthday. Any update on how the Netflix campaign is going? I wish I knew. I don't think there's any way for us to know. If I ever hear from them, believe me, I will let you guys know. But David was asking submitted to Netflix. So if you go to like the main movie link and you look in the description box, there's a link that you can click on that takes you to a Netflix suggestion page, and you can type in the name of the film as a film you would like to see on Netflix. I don't know how many suggestions they have to get before they'll even consider it, but why not? I say hi. Say hi to Nemo from Mercy. Let's see. By the way, thank you for having a mailing address to send contributions to. Thank you. Yeah. So, and I think we've posted that now out there in several different places. We have a P.O. box where you can send contributions to, and that's fantastic. And all of that, like I said, is going directly towards the series. Will the film be a series because you said you have more ideas for it? Yes. Yes. And that's our hope. We're for sure aiming to make the first 3 this summer, as long as we get funding. And then from there, I would love to keep it going. The guys would love to keep it going. Beth is in, Maggie's in. Everybody who was involved would love to see it continue to go. It's always, unfortunately, it always just comes down to a money thing. When you get that many people to drop what they do in their regular everyday lives, because the guys do work, Beth works, everybody works. that, you have to be able to compensate for that. And my crew, that's what they do full time. I understood the title of the movie when I heard the final line of the film. I remember thinking of that. It was a very clever line. Excellent. Well, I'm glad. I'm so glad. Do you have goals for the time length? After talking with the crew, from Alex, thank you, and from Darren, my director of photography, and Ryan, who is going to be my editor, what we talked about was aiming for 15 to 20 minute films. So a 3-film series is still going to be almost an hour of films. And right now, the 3 films are an arc, meaning that all 3 are tied together in some way. So in the end, it's kind of like a mini film, but it will be released as 3 short films. So that way the crew will basically will film them and then go into post-production on one of them, because to edit, color correct, sound master a short film hopefully can be done in approximately a month. So then while that one is being released, the second one goes into post-production, and when the second one is released, the third one goes into post-production. So that way we can kind of move them through that way. I hope that makes sense. Can we have the name of the hotel so we can support them too? I will have to look that up. I honestly, off the top of my head, don't know that. Hello from Vancouver to David. So you guys, I have been with you for about an hour, and some of you have hung out with me the whole time. And I cannot tell you how thankful I am that you're willing to come and spend an hour with me. But I'm going to let you all go so that you can either go to bed or you can go out and enjoy the rest of your day. I have children who would like to run some errands. But I can barely hear you because of the stupid 12 o'clock alarm. Thank you so much for this live chat. Our website. I was just reminded, if you go to our website, it's morethanonly.org. There's a ton of information there. If you haven't been there yet, check it out, because we have behind the scenes photos, we have videos, we have the story, we have the cast, but we also have our How to Reach Us page. So our P.O. box is there. There's email address, there's just contact information. I'm glad too that it showed a gay relationship in a positive way without drugs or unnecessary sex. I think the mind is a very powerful thing. You don't need to give it everything visually for it to come across the way you want it to come across. Time for me to say goodnight. Good night to you, my dear. All the best with your series. Can we get a full list of all the actors on social media and crew so I can talk to them on social media? You can certainly try. Some of them do have an in real life requirement, but you can always, some of their pages are public and you can always message them and stuff. They're very sweet, but just kind of keep in mind that they have to protect their loved ones as well. And not knowing any of you personally, they don't always respond. I will publicize it as soon as I arrange another chat, and I'll bring the cast back to say hello to you guys. Thanks so much for coming and joining me, and I hope we can talk very soon again. All right, take care, stay safe, God bless, until this COVID thing is over. All right, you guys, love you. Bye-bye.